I don't look like jloopz, so please don't mistake it. My name is Kwesi Koomson, Artiste Manager. This segment, we are looking at some things that will be beneficial to your work as a musician or as an artist. So what I would like to do is, there was a point where I was part of a group discussion, and the question was making money for your effort. And indeed, it's important that what we have is a calling. It's important that we recognize that what we do is about people and making impact. However, if an artist has money, he writes better songs. I mean, that's on a lighter note. So let's look at some pointers with regards to making money for your effort. And these were some thoughts that I shared on the group conversation, and I would like to share with you as well. So the first thing, as an introduction, that I made mention of was, as gospel artists, gospel musicians, it's important to recognize that if you take care of the things of God, God will take care of you. It sounds very cliche, but once the focus is on God, and once the focus is not just about making money, you'll be surprised that it's actually a mystery. You'll be surprised you actually make more money from understanding this very simple principle, because money does not become the focus of everything you do. You do not put a price to every service you provide. You do not put a price to every gig you do. You do not put a price to everything you do, to every relationship that you have. It actually fetches you more money and leaves an indelible mark in the hearts of people, more than putting a price to everything that you do. So I mentioned that God grants us the power to make wealth, and that is mostly embedded in the ideas, innovations, and the network he provides for us. So we need to learn to optimize these things to attract money, rather than forcibly exchange your effort for your money. So just look at your network now. Look at the people that are around you. What is your relationship with them like? I mean, these people are the same people that would personally market you to people. Your talent is nothing if it's unable to reach people. So manage your relationships well. Of course, you don't get it right all the time. We all don't. But manage your relationships with people well, and it will fetch you a lot of money. So in terms of optimizing what these things do, put yourself in a position where money comes to you rather than you chase money. So for some of the practical things, as a musician, I think it's important that you start a YouTube channel. That's free. It is absolutely free. Start a YouTube channel. Content is the way forward. Develop a lot of content. It will cost you some data, of course, but develop content, put content on YouTube. I some time back read of a story of an amazing bestseller in the US, who wrote quite a number of volumes, had over 16 books in the past. None of them got onto the bestseller market. He wrote one book that got onto the bestseller market, and it was a catalyst for all his other 16 that he had written to come back onto the market, and then it's fetched him so much money. So the concept of starting a YouTube channel is for it to create an impetus for you to start to create content. Content is the future. Create content. I'll use working with Joe as an example. So yes, of course, the VGMA opened various opportunities, and his career has grown over the years. However, when that big break for him came, we already had the Gratitude album, we already had the Sound of Praise album, we already had the Encounter album. So beyond all the noise, all the interviews, and okay, this artist, does he deserve it? Does he not deserve it? Well, you listen to the music and you judge for yourself. So those are the kinds of things that leave a mark in the hearts and the minds of people. And those things actually matter more than what you try to do to impress people. So take content very seriously. Develop content and put it out. I know sometimes it's difficult for you to become confident about what you are doing, and because of that, you don't put it out. I can tell you for a fact, there are so many of you watching me who have thousands of your event videos sitting at home and on hard drives. Move them from hard drives, put them out there. What we do is about people. Put the content out there and let it bless someone. Do not forget, what we do is about people. So start a YouTube channel. The second thing I would like to to emphasize is the big question: to charge for gigs or not to charge for gigs. It's tricky, but I would read to you my submission and then we can talk a bit. So I mentioned that I know this is one of the most pressing issues. Unfortunately, from my experience, some of the worst people I have encountered regarding appreciating what we do by paying and respecting the role we play are church people. Fortunately, some of the best I have experienced are also Christians. You will need to be able to charge for the event you are called for. Be reasonable. One of the ways that helped me, and this was me sharing my experience, one of the ways that helped me usually is to ask what the budget for the event is, i.e. the budget for bringing my artist or bringing an artist that I work with to the event. So once you ask that question, it gives you a good context of what the people are working with. I think that sometimes we forget the cultural setting within which we operate. There are things you can do in Ghana that will not fly in another jurisdiction, say South Africa or America. There are things you may do there that may not fly here. So as musicians, let's not just be concerned about only the music. Let's position our music in a cultural setting. I hope that makes sense. So ask for the budget for the event, and it creates a good context for you. You see, it's not the best for you to have a reputation of just call him or her, she will come. Just give him or her anything, including meat pie. So once you create that sense in the minds of people that you are not worth anything, it's what you give to people that they give back to you. So you will need to put value on yourself, and that starts with the kinds of quality of music in terms of writing, in terms of production, in terms of the quality you put in the product that you put out there. So do not create a sense in the minds of people that immediately you call him or her, they will come. I mean, this could be one of the most talented people in the world. By that, people marketing, they tell other people. Even though you are worth so much, people pay nothing or close to nothing for you. She will be, and I take that part again, just give him or her anything, including meat pie. She'll be fine. The impression has to be that have a budget for him or her, but he or she is great to work with. So rather than creating the impression that give him or her anything, no, you are better off in a position than to say, what is your budget for him, or have a budget for him or her. They are great people to work with. This is to say that, well, okay, so you have a budget of practically 2,000 cedis, 5,000 cedis, and the person's expectation, or the artist, the person has a budget of 2,000 or 5,000, but your expectation as an artist is, say, 10,000 or 8,000. Nothing stops you from losing on that 2,000 to build a strong relationship to get more money in the future. So don't create just an environment of anything goes. That will cost you. It may not cost you now. You get more gigs and more opportunities to sing at places and to play at places more than anyone else, but it will definitely cost you in the future because you have created an impression for people. And on the flip side, we cannot ignore the culture we have here, like I mentioned. Respect the elderly. When a senior calls you, don't discuss money immediately. Request to meet and understand what they need. You may get nothing from that, but they may recommend you for something bigger. Our people are not ready and willing to engage artist managers and representatives of musicians sometimes, especially when you are a budding artist. So let me speak on this at every point in time. Look, it's important that everybody says, I mean, that's the job I do. You need an artist manager. You need somebody who would stand in your stead to do various things for you. It is the ugliest thing to do for an artist to finish an event and be hanging around where everybody is hanging around and waiting for your money. You may be surprised. They may not know that people are watching, but people are watching. It doesn't put you in a good light. So it must be someone's responsibility. However, in this culture, especially for artists that are budding, I prefer that word to upcoming, it becomes very difficult when at every call, speak to my manager. Speak to my manager. Speak to my manager. I mean, that may be the right thing to do, but creating a right balance is all that you need. So don't take that as a straitjacket and apply that to every situation. Treat every call uniquely. Treat every call specially. That's the only way. The point here is for you to be able to build relationships. I emphasize on this point so much. Build relationships, and don't be in a hurry to leave the conversation or to make your artist manager or someone else own the relationship. Sometimes people want to have a relationship with you. That's when they're able to recommend you for bigger things. So let's keep that in mind as well. I continue. It won't change. It won't. I take it back from where I started. So our people are not ready sometimes and willing to engage artist managers and representatives of musicians, especially when you're a budding artist. It won't change. It won't change. At least for now, I can tell you for a fact. It won't change. So treat every case specially. Don't have a jacket that fits all situations. Where you are not sure what to do, ask to kindly call back. Talk to somebody who understands this business, or somebody who probably understands the person or knows the person, and have a more experienced person to help you. Our society doesn't like talking about money, and you won't change it. It's not you that will come and change it. It's just something that is in here. Society doesn't like talking about money. So while the money is important, creating a good balance of being concerned about the people and their event. The money is important, but be concerned about their event. Be concerned about them. Let them feel that you care about what they are doing, because, again, we profess that we are all doing this for God. So if for you it's all about the money going in, collecting and leaving, you just create that subtle hostile relationship. So let the people create a balance. Let them feel that you are concerned about them and you are concerned about their event, because it's very crucial. And learn to charge. Charge is a skill. It's a skill. I know you're laughing, but learning to charge is a skill. Develop the skill. And one will ask, how do you develop the skill? It's simple. So let's take this first step for now and apply the rest later. When you are called for an event, politely speak to the people. Ask them about the details of the event, who else is on the event. It probably may not matter, but it creates a good impression about you having something to ask about the event. Ask them what budget they have with regards to bringing you. So practically, hello, jloopz. This is Theo from something International Media Church. That's Theo's church. So we are having an event, so and so. Okay, so jloopz on the other line says, "Oh, I sincerely appreciate your call, and it means a lot wanting me to be on your event." So they give you all the details of the event. Then you ask if you run an email system as well. So you ask them, okay, so thank you, but do you have a budget with regards to bringing me and the team? They may say no. They may say yes. Sometimes they mention some monies that the ones you have in mind are actually smaller. So whichever the situation is, you cannot handle all of them the same way. So treat everybody special and try to create a good database. So, for example, if you are getting 100 calls, in a year and you own 100 relationships, at least for your first event, you are sure that 50 of them will come. And that is how you grow a brand. A brand is not grown in a day. It's not grown in a week. You do not make all your money or all the money you want to make as an artist from just one event. I'll take another point and then we will end it here. So I'll read this part. Somebody asked the question and he asked me, how do you combine these two? So, no, the question starts from here. The management, that's the business aspect, and then the spiritual aspect. How do you combine these two so not to create friction amongst management and artists? Again, it's a very tricky place to work, but it's very defined as well. Artists are called by God. I strongly believe that, and I will always maintain that position. So if as an artist manager, you have not gotten to that position of understanding who your artist is and what their mandate is and what they are to achieve in terms of their influence in the world. I think you need to do a reset, sit with them, understand them. That's the only way you can create any form of value. Understand them, understand what they are called for, understand what their mandate is, understand what the future is for them. That's where you may be able to create a proper direction for them. So the question read, the management business aspect and the spiritual aspect. How do you combine these two so not to create friction amongst management and artists? And then he continued to say, don't know if it's clear, but I understood him. So I said, I said that I would share this with a very, very practical response. And I'll repeat the question again.